Worksheet, we are asked to identify the functions that are shown here in the table. We have 8 functions here. So the function a of x equals 3 is, we know that this is a constant function. If there is no x, just a fixed number, we call it constant. Now f of x is equal to x. So here we have x, and it's in the base, and the exponent of x is 1. Therefore, this is a linear function. G of x is equal to 3x plus 5. So there's a constant term, and there's an x. 3 is called a coefficient. And the highest exponent of x is 1. So therefore, we'll call this a linear function. G of x is a linear function. H of x is also similar to g of x. There's a constant term, and there's an x, the highest exponent of which is 1. 3/2 is the coefficient. So therefore, h of x is a linear function. P of x is similar to g of x and h of x. We have 3/4 x plus 2. So there's a constant term, and we have an x. Highest exponent is 1. 3/4 is the coefficient of x. So we call this a linear function. M of x is equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 8. So it looks a little different. Now, there's a constant term, there's an x term, and there's an x squared term. Since the highest exponent of x is 2, then this is a quadratic function. M of x is quadratic. Q of x is 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x plus 5. So we have a constant term, an x squared term, and an x cubed term. So since the highest exponent of x is 3, the q of x is a cubic function. V of x is equal to 4/5 x squared minus 3/2. So 3/2 is a constant because it doesn't have an x. X squared, so we have an x squared term. Highest exponent of x here is 2. Therefore, this is a quadratic function. Okay. So here we are asked to solve or find the values of x that will make the equation true. So in other words, solve this equation. We're asked to show complete work and checking. Okay, so number 1 says f of x equals p of x. So we have to get f of x. F of x is right here, and we notice that it's equal to x. So we're going to replace f of x by x equals, and then we look for p of x, and p of x is 3/4 x plus 2. So I'm going to put here 3/4 x plus 2. Then we solve this equation. So on the left side, we only have x. On the right side, we have 3/4 x plus 2. This equation is easier to solve if there's no fraction. So how do we deal with the fraction? Well, we can multiply the left side by the denominator 4. And we can multiply the right side also by the denominator 4. So that means we are multiplying both sides by 4. Therefore, we are maintaining the equality. So here we'll have 4x equals, now we can make this 4/1. So 4 times 3 is 12 over 1 times 4. So let me just write that down. So that's going to be 12 over 4 and then x. Plus 4 times 2 is equal to 8. We can put a 1 underneath the 2, but 1 times 1 is 1. 8 over 1 is 8, so I'm not going to put the 1 underneath the 8. All right, then now let's simplify further. We'll have here 4x equals 12 over 4 is 3x plus 8. So now we want the variables to be on the same side, so we will take away 3x from both sides. So 3x from minus 3x from the left and minus 3x from the right. Let's bring it over here. So 4x minus 3x is x equals 3x minus 3x is 0. Then we bring down the 8 and we got the answer. X is equal to 8. Now let's check. So our equation is x equals 3/4 x plus 2. Now we plug in the 8 into x, so we'll have 8 equals 3/4 times 8 plus 2. So we want to show that the left side is actually equal to the right side. So we'll have here 8 equals, we can put a 1 underneath the 8 here, and that's going to give us 3 times 8 is 24. So multiply top by the top, bottom by the bottom. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. And so therefore we'll have we'll have 8 equals, put it here, 24 over 4 is 6 plus 2. And so this tells us that 8 is equal to 8. So I'll just put it here. 8 equals 8. All right, so that means we know that this tells us that our answer 8 is the right answer because it shows that the left side is indeed equal to the right side.